Shorty Award winner! Woo! Congratulations, Josh. Oh, we got a
Thank you.
little, I like that. You just raised
Yeah,
the roof.
I
I
did.
love that you're feeling excited. Tell me about what winning a Shorty means to you guys.
Well, sort of a longtime listener, first time caller type of a thing for Yext. We have never won a Shorty Award, so it was a big deal for us as a company. This campaign was a bit of a leap, a bit of a departure. We took a very different tact, something that you don't see very often in B2B, and it's great to get recognition for it. And we were going for humor. We were trying to stand out and to get recognized across three categories was thrill and unexpected, and we're super proud.
So you mentioned standing out for the campaign titled "Who is Todd?" I'm
Yeah.
curious as to what you really think made this stand out.
Sure. So I remember it was almost a year ago. We were at the offices of Chiat in New York, and they took us into what they called the Inspiration Room. And it was really a collection of all the sort of large B2B brands and then some smaller ones that are a little bit more niche and connected to our space. And it was sort of ironic that it was called the Inspiration Room because they all looked the same. It was the same fonts, the same color schemes, and you sort of just were muted by all of it sounding the same. And so it was an immediate opportunity for us to think of how we might do something that goes against the grain. And then the concept of misinformation, it's part of our everyday conversation on social media, and it's typically accompanied with a lot of sort of anger, rage, and it's often rooted in like politics and things like that. And while misinformation from a brand and a business perspective is nothing to laugh about per se, we knew we had to do something different to get people's attention around that problem. And so between sort of understanding that we didn't want to be like everyone else because it was relatively boring, we wanted to create attention of this broader problem, but in our own unique way. It led us to using comedy and humor as the end point, and it worked out well. Namely, because we were able to hire an incredible actor in Mike Rock, who brought this character of Todd to life so brilliantly.
So you took this idea of misinformation, which is and has become a cultural reference point, and
Yeah.
made it relevant to you. Why choose misinformation?
So our company is really all about creating a bit of a movement around stomping out wrong answers online. I think as a customer, as consumers, we've all been in the situation where you go to a brand's website and you search for something that you think is relatively basic, and you get just a completely random result, or sorry, no results found, and you're like, how can you not answer this question? So what do? You go to Google and you search for the same information, and then Google will serve you, based on their ranking, sometimes a kind of a random third party website, and you have no idea if the information in there is valid. But if Google is serving it to you, it must be right, right? And so what we wanted to do was call attention to the fact that you can be really misled as a consumer, and that brands, while you can't control misinformation online, you can control delivering the right information when people are actually asking you for it. And so what we wanted to do was highlight that problem in a way that got people's attention. And again, creating a character around it felt like the right thing to do.
And so I was shocked to learn from this that 82% of brand information online is false.
Yeah.
How did that information surface?
So we have an incredible data insights team. And so we were looking for these proof points, right? Because it's one thing to say misinformation is a business problem, but you have to put some validity around that claim. And so we had a hunch that it was a pretty large problem that could negatively impact businesses. And so fortunately, we were able to find some statistics that were able to prove our point. And so we wanted to blend humor and the familiarity of that sort of know-it-all person who interrupts you and gives you somewhat believable information, but you're like, is it really? With real data that really emphasized that, this, yes, we're poking fun at it, but it really is a true business problem that you should pay attention to.
I'm curious as to if you think that this will turn into not just a one-off. Like I sort of saw it almost as a spin-off ad campaign. What do you think?
Yeah, well, we again, it was a dream to work with Mike and our whole production team. I've been parts of shoots and building campaigns, and sometimes they can be not particularly fun. And this was just a pure delight. And I think that the character of Todd is this like lovable villain, and that's exactly what we were hoping to get, and we got it. So I 100% would love to use the character again. In fact, we used Todd to provide our acceptance speech. So rather than it being me or someone else, we thought, you know what, we should just go straight to the man himself and let him do what he does best.
We're going to roll that in just a bit. But before we do, I want to chat with you about what the Shorties mean to a brand or an agency.
It's an acknowledgement of a lot of hard work, and you spend hours and hours, scrutinizing over little tiny details, and then you put it out into the world, and you hope people like it. And the Shorty Awards are, an incredible organization. Kudos to them for an amazing show. I know that it's really hard to adjust in this all digital, all sort of Zoom, YouTube, what have you, world that we're in. But they did such a great job and sort of captured their real spirit. And so when we got the news that the Shorty Awards had acknowledged us not once but 3 times, it was just a huge honor because we're a smaller company and we're B2B, right? We're not expected to be creative and funny or wry, and so we just felt incredibly validated. So we're super psyched, and now we're motivated to win more awards in the years to come. So if anything, they've sparked a fire with us.
Well, I'd love to roll the clip on the acceptance speech because it was so creative. So let's take a look at that.
Hello, I'm Todd Munyon, an expert. On behalf of Yext, thanks very much for the 3 Shorty Awards. A lot of people ask, what are the Shorty Awards? So I'm here to give the official answer to that question. The Shorty Awards are actually Academy Awards, but for short people. Danny DeVito and Nicole Snooki Polizzi have the most nominations and wins since the program began in 1874. And just as an Academy Award is also known as an Oscar, a Shorty Award is also known as a Martin. So, there you have it. Now, where can I collect our Martins?
That is so creative. Thank you for the good laughs.
Well, we aim to please, and again, it's all about who can read the words on the page, and he does such a great job. So anytime we can work with him, it's a treat.
We know he's a liar too because I'm 5'1" and I didn't win a Shorty.
Exactly. Well, misinformation exists about the Shorties too. So
misinformation. Well, thank you so much for your time, Josh, and congratulations to you and the team.
Hey, thanks so much. We appreciate it.